Hey, it's Yvonne. So we're moved on to the new quarter for 2017. So I thought we'd take a look back and I'd share some of the highlights of the first quarter of 2017, some of my sales on eBay. So we're here at my store. Items for sale. Current items for sale. Let's scroll down. Sold listings. Now I'm looking at this logged out as if I'm a guest looking at eBay and I'm looking at the seller, Mile High Scene, which is me. That way, other information that eBay doesn't think we should share, like accidentally buyers' addresses or emails or whatever, just to protect privacy. I did it this way last time and I think it worked out fine. Okay, let's scroll down and start with beginning of the 2017. Here's January. I think we can go back one more page. Hang on, just bear with me. Let's go back one more page. So if you follow me on Instagram or on Facebook or in the Reseller Stew show, some of these things I've already talked about, some of the highlights, but all right. So this is as far back as it will go, January the 5th. Since I'm not logged in, right? I'm looking at it as if like a guest or someone else would be looking at my account. So I'll just let you guys take a peek at some of the things that sold. When you see this, just knock a few dollars off. It means I accepted a best offer. There's some of the ways that I choose to word things. This was good. This one here was actually, Wild Fox is good. They make these like little iconic sayings. And for some reason, this is popular right now with the younger socialite crowd. This was actually retail arbitrage from Marshall's. I think I paid $10 for it. If I remember correctly, I took a best offer of about $50 on it, new with tags. Went pretty quick. I had a couple of those. This was a great find. This was from the Goodwill. I actually bought it for my daughter, but she decided she didn't want it. She wanted a different one. So I think I paid, what did I say, $5 or $7, $7.99 for it. And I took a little bit less than that best offer. This was really nice. Roxy. You would think maybe just do North Face or Columbia or some of those brands, but Roxy, it is a younger brand and it can be found pretty easily also like at Marsh and Ross and TJ Maxx, excuse me. But still, certain ones, even though it's just a Roxy, has a little bit of good resale value. And the deal with this one was it was the long, slim, tall, extra long for tall girls. So that made it a little special. Sundance always does well. Sundance catalog stuff always does well. That, I think, might have been a Ben's find. There are one of my Daisy Kingdom dresses that I did get at the bins. I talked about this on the Reseller Stew and on Instagram and Facebook. I pulled 2 of these out of the bins, so they might have cost me maybe $1 a piece. This one sold first because it was smaller. The other one, which we'll see in a little bit, I took a little less for, and it was a bigger size. And I think once girls get to be in that age group, they kind of want to, I don't know, maybe you can't, it's harder to put them in a little dress like this. But that was cute. So full price that went, and it went pretty quick. There's a following for Daisy Kingdom dress. I guess there was books and some kind of subculture around this. You can buy the dresses ready-made, or you can buy patterns into special panels with, I guess, characters from the books, someone told me. And I read a little bit online. So that was cute. It's all big and fluffy. It was in with the blankets and stuff, and people just kind of tossed it aside at the bins, and I caught both of them and had a little bit of like birthday cake on it, but I cleaned them up and they went pretty well. Did pretty well with that. Oh, I get so scared to do this kind of stuff. This was really fragile and thin, and I think I paid like $4.99 for it or something. It's in one of my haul videos. All silk gown. I had to look it over so carefully, right, to make sure there were no snags and damages, and there wasn't. So it took a little bit longer to sell. I think I got about 40-ish for it. I always price everything up a little higher so I can take best offer, or eventually I'm going to run a sale, right? But hey, like Tanya says, you can't make a lot of money if you don't ask for a lot of money. So I start high. Oh, American Eagle, that was a bin find. Some Free People. 3 people. Some of it's good, some of it not so good. If it's a Pinterest favorite, it does better. It's vintage. I had a big vintage lot, and I sold it. It all sold pretty well. Plus some Notori, which sold for higher. Notori caftans. I haven't found any of those in a while. I wish I would. Some of this stuff's Coldwater Creek. Only if it's really interesting, great shape. I prefer new with tags, or very, very cheap. Some pieces will go real quick. Some you just kind of play with for a little bit. It's still a good enough label. I know a lot of people make fun of it. Well, I guess the younger crowd makes fun of it because it's more of a career or a more mature woman that wears that stuff, but it's good. It's a good label to resell if the price is right, if you can get it at the right price. Athleta, that's good. Not as good as Lululemon, Lorna Jane, but it's good. Athleta, I think I've talked about before, about like Prana, Kyodan, about that price range. But what it is with these, I always pick these up over the leggings. I might pass on like the stretch leggings, but see, these are studio pants. They're like the lighter weight nylon-ish polyester fabric, sometimes ripcord, and they have the ruching. But these dance studio pants or trek pants always do well. They go for a little bit more. Gosh, this came back and I relisted it and it sold again, thank goodness. Diane von Furstenberg, there again, I've talked about this. It's just it's hard to know. Some of it's great, some of it just falls super flat. I think I got tired of dealing with this, and I think I took 40-ish on that. I think I went pretty low on this, but I still made money because it didn't cost me very much at the Goodwill, of course. Paige, this is one of the current popular jean brands for women right now, especially, but only a few of the styles are going to bring in this kind of money. So you need, like, we have to educate ourselves. What are the styles that they're wanting right now? Some old school stuff. These things do good, like Nordic sweaters, Fair Isle, yachting, fishermen. Those kind of things usually do well. This one, I think, was from England, lamb's wool. Took a little bit less for it. It went pretty quick. That might have been a bins find too. I need to start making a list because I'd like to separate that, what was from the bins and what wasn't, and do those in a separate video, I think. Eileen Fisher, always good. I want to talk about that one. Harley Davidson, do that. Where's my next page? Harley Davidson garage shirts are always good, right? I need to set this to do 100 per page. I'll do that next time, okay? Another Eileen Fisher. I think I took 78 or 72 on this one. Went really quick. Another Eileen Fisher, took a little off. Harley Davidson took a little off on that. Descent, this was a really long puffer coat. I think I paid $3 or $4 for it. This was Thank You, Ronnie Hart. I started getting into shoes. Found a bunch of Allen Edmonds, Johnston and Murphy. Something from Spain that did really well. I think I paid like $3 and $4 for all these shoes. I bought like 4 or 5 pair, and you'll see them through here. They all sold. So I'm always on the lookout now for this kind of stuff. It's getting a little bit harder to find in good shape, and even if these aren't in perfect shapes, sometimes people will still buy them and just resole them. Like if the sole's just a little, has some wear or drag on it. Sometimes it's still fine to buy and sell. Victoria's Secret robe. This is a good label for like intimates, a little bit higher price intimates, even a little bit higher price than Victoria's Secret. And this one was like a Sex in the City collab. Prana dress, Pendleton. I'm really careful with my Pendletons, but I found, unless it's like a Navajo or Indian, can't say Navajo, unless it's like an Indian blanket, American Indian blanket type thing. But I found, I think, 4 or 5 of these blazers that were pretty much a new style, all lined, new with tags. They weren't very much, $3, $4, $5. I bought all of them. This was the last one, I think, to sell. The other ones, they all went pretty quick for around $20 to $30. Loved this one. This one went to someone whose mother was visiting from Russia. I had to get it there quick before she got on the plane to go back to Russia and take it with her. I think I did about 50 on this one. It didn't cost very much. This was great. Black label. See, that's up there. Black and purple label is up there on the Ralph Lauren Cool is always good. Pants, shirts, men's or women's. Fabletics, I talked about this. Kate Hudson's line. If you're old school, you know that Kate Hudson, Cutie Pie, her mom is Goldie Hawn. That's why she's so cute. But her athletic line is doing great. You don't get real high price points unless it's like a unicorn, something really sought after, but it's grown in popularity. And the deal is you have to do like an online club to get this stuff. And some of it is starting to trickle into the thrift stores. And so you can resell it for people who don't want to do the club thing. If you come off the price a little bit, it resells pretty quickly. Fabletics. It's quality stuff and cute as can be. I suspect that line will continue to grow. I already talked about that one because I sold it twice. I don't want to talk about that again. Just some bread and butter stuff, nasty gal stuff. We all know the controversy over that. Some of it sells good, some of it's just not. It's just kind of got cheaper quality. She kind of messed that up. Desigual Cirque Soleil, you know what I'm saying, collab. So Desigual does good, Cirque du Soleil does good, and so a collab, it's even better. Lauren Moshi, these iconic little shirts, not quite as much as Wild Fox, more than Bethany Moto, but not quite as much as Wild Fox, but still, that's not bad. Look at that, $36 for that. Torrid, usually pretty safe. Love this, G-Star Raw, learn something new. They make pants and shirts. The menswear stuff is really good. I think, what did I get for that? Somewhere around $68.70, I think I took on that. It was great. No problems whatsoever. So remember that. I think the G-Star Raw does better than just the plain G-Star. It's kind of tactical shirt. They do women's too. So I think the men's you get more money for. This was a bin find. I know I rant and raved about this on the Reseller Stew and everywhere because this was a bin find. And it sold almost immediately for $80. So it was a little girl, so I think it cost me, my bins were $1.29 a pound, so I think it cost me like, what, less than $1. So pretty, so soft, sold quickly. Asics is a good athleisure athletic brand. I found 2 paired new with tags, $3.99, $4. Sold both of them. And then just some unusual pieces. An older label. Nothing real special or shocking, but it was covered with rhinestones. A little retro look, still could be used for boho, western, rocker girls. So this is a good label. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Komarov, they do lots of dresses and shirts and things like that. They're kind of iconic for this like crinkle look. And dresses can go for even more. There's the other Asics. Iviva is Lululemon's children's line. St. John, man, I had good luck with St. John. I think in the last 6 to 8 months, I've found like 10 pieces. I love that. So we all know St. John is great. If you don't kind of study that, the different labels, the different price points of the labels, St. John Collection, St. John Evening, St. John Sport. This was beautiful. She loved it. That's a great little career church, ladies' lunch, socialite dress. Sold both of these. I bought 3, gave one away to my friend that she saw on Instagram. So I gave it to her, sold the other 2. Free People dress. There's where I got a pretty decent price on a Free People dress. I tried hard to find the name of it, but I couldn't. But I got a decent price for that. This was a bins find. Now this was kind of heavy because it's long and beaded. So maybe that cost me $2.50 at the bins, but I think I took $38 for it. She loved it. It was flawless, and that's pretty lucky to get a formal dress like that, and especially get it from the bins and it's still flawless, doesn't have any snags. That's kind of incredible and pretty rare. I get a little nervous with formals about the renting aspect, so I only do it if I can make a good profit but still selling it low enough where I think a girl is going to wear it for her event and love it enough and think, well, it was cheap enough, I'm just going to keep it in case I need another special event dress. That's kind of my tactic on formals. I hope I explained that right. This is like a Pinterest favorite, so I might have told a lie. This is a Pinterest favorite. It was all over Pinterest a couple years. Maybe they're over it. It came back, sold it. No, she actually canceled it immediately. It's still up for sale. I just marked it down to like 12 bucks. Last call. I'm doing a last call sale clearance. I wanted to keep this. I thought about it because I've always wanted this, but I went ahead and sold it, I think for about 38 or 42. Kind of wanted to keep that too. It was so beautiful. Knock a few dollars off of that. That was a two-piece set. Absolutely beautiful. This was part of the challenge that April, Reseller's Learning Curve, and she's on the Reseller Stew panel with me on Deb's channel. She put out that challenge and all of us did. This was part of I got out my old bin of scarves I've been collecting, and I made about $300, $350 extra dollars in that 2-week period by accepting that challenge and going through that death pile of all my scarves. I knew they were good scarves. I don't know what I was waiting on. There's no excuse. I apologize. Lily Pulitzer, this had a problem. Okay, so I think I took 12 for this. Now, I went ahead and listed this. It had a stain I could not get out, but no way was I going to throw that away. So I just listed it and said, hey, this is a great piece. Look at it. It's got a problem. Here it is. Lily Pulitzer lovers, old school retro lovers, you get this. You don't want me to throw this away. Someone's going to love this. Here it is. Someone please adopt this, fix it, rock it. And someone did. Armani Exchange. Not too bad on that men's. Some more of the scarves. Scarves are really great. Look for a nice silk. Look for the hand rolled edges. Those are the ones that you really want to investigate. If you're having trouble like remembering names and things, and just start there. Look for nice motifs, themes, silk, and the hand rolled edges. Another Fair Isle. We all know to do Nordic and Fair Isle sweaters. Love this. New with tags. I think I paid like $2.99 for that. Always do I threw this up immediately to remind everyone, always do the velvet burnouts, especially if it's fringed. Always do velvet burnout stuff. That was so beautiful. Beach towel, that was all in the scarves and some blankets and beach towel where I made extra $350. Thank you, April, for your challenge and motivation to do that. There's the other mermaid. Harley Davidson stuff. The reason that didn't sell for much, it was a Harley Davidson black label, but it was completely blank. Like there were no other logos to like, shout out branding Harley Davidson. So that went to a more discreet, subtle person that just wanted the black vest and maybe put her own patches on or whatever, and did want it to be Harley Davidson because she's a Harley girl. So because it didn't have a lot of in your face, I'm Harley Davidson brand, it was a little less. I think I took 18 for it. I just liked it and didn't want it to sit there. This is kind of an interesting, Glamour Kills. It's kind of an interesting urban streetwear label. Not as high-end as Wild Fox and all that, and then it was a collab with PETA. And I just thought it was cool and didn't want to leave it behind. There's some more of the scarves. This was a bin find. I think I only took like $8 for it because she bought 5 items from me. So I bundled a bunch of stuff together. This was a bins find. So maybe it cost me 50, 60 cents. Flax. I'm starting to not love flax anymore. There's a lot of this shirt, and the reason I went ahead and got it is it didn't cost me very much. Oh no, that was a bins. That was a bin, so it was under like 50 cents. But there were hardly any black ones. And so I had a lot of people trying to get that from me for a little bit cheaper price based on what the red ones were going for, which were abundant. I kind of held out because this was a black one. I don't know what to say about these beach towels. I already confessed on Instagram this one and another one that I don't, let me see if I can find it. It's up here. There it is. Like, I don't know what they were doing in there. It's not like me to do the pornish type cheesy cake stuff. I mean, that's not porn, but you know what I mean. It's just not like me, but I don't know. But they went for good money. So. These were my boyfriends. He rocked them a little bit and then was done. Christian, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I always pick up their jackets. They were real popular in the 90s. I always pick those up. Some do better than others. This one was fair. There's the other Daisy Kingdom that I mentioned because it was a bigger size. It just didn't sell as quickly. The other one sold overnight. So I took a little bit off for it, but still, those were bin finds, right? Oh, some interesting things. So you take a peek at kind of some interesting things. You won't find this label very often. It's cute. It was all like ripped t-shirt material and then sewn back together with other t-shirt material, kind of a rocker thing. Yeah, there's that other $28. Oh my gosh, I don't even understand that. Theory, it could be good. I guess I didn't pick a good one, even though this was cashmere. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I didn't wait long enough. St. John, always good. I only sold that. I love this. Look at that mint green vintage from Wilson Leathers. I kind of held out on that. I got 58 for it. It didn't cost me very much. I think $6 or $7. This was a bin find. This cost me $2. I didn't know if it would sell. It's all patchworky, very retro. So I tried to sell it this way, give people some ideas of what they could do with that. I'm thinking probably steampunk because it was all patchworky, like patchwork sewn together. Those I probably sold for too low for the brand and the quality that they were. But I did it. There's another towel. I'll do interesting towels. I think I've talked about the Lisa Frank towel. My epic story, right? Lisa Frank towel that I bought for $1 or $2 vintage. I put it up for like $2.25. I reluctantly took best offer of $175 like a year and a half ago. So, you just can't really stop. You just can't really get over something like that. So I'm always still looking at the linen department and the towels. And sometimes I find some interesting beach towels. As you can see here, they usually cost $1 or $2, sometimes even less. And if they're at the bins, that's less than 50, 60 cents. Sometimes they get good money. Oh, this is an imported label, Chic Star. So I kind of had to, I put it last, all right? I kind of had to work with this to try to get this. It wasn't sexy enough for pinup. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of worked with it. What do you guys think? It worked. I think I took 22 and I got good feedback. She loved it. I mean, it's a precious little dress, definitely. But it's not a real high-end label in that community. Oh, this was so vintage, so cute. From that scarf thing. Look at the spruce, whatever, paper moon, all that kind of stuff. Some of the anther stuff I'm all being more careful on now. That was a good sale. I don't do a lot of jeans, but I'll pick some up. Nothing special there. Lover and Friends. This shirt is copied a lot. Like Contempo Casual used to make this shirt like in the 80s and 90s. And of course the cold shoulder is back in style, so a lot of people are doing it. This is a little bit better label, right? So that's why I got 32 for it. I'm sure like all the mall brands are knocking this off too. I'm sure like Free People and so like Forever 21, you're not going to get $32 for this, and it might look exactly the same. I've seen that down to the even little trim in there, but this must have been a private labeling from overseas. But that just goes to show you branding. Lovers and Friends had enough clout, street cred to warrant $32 for something that probably Forever 21 is copying and you could get for under 10. Interesting, isn't it? Okay, I'm just going to go slow. Just going to take a little peek, but nothing. Part of the vintage lingerie scoop that I had. I think the best deal out of that scoop was a really hardcore and that was last quarter, girdle. It was pretty epic, and I got $56 for that, and then a couple of Notori Kafgans that went from 40 to 60, and then the rest was just some vintagey things. Some of it Union label. Yeah, you can still sell Starbucks mugs. I think I did 28 on that because that market's kind of crashing a little bit. I just thought this was pretty. Didn't want to leave it sit there. Paid a couple dollars for it. It was part of a bundle, that 5-piece bundle. So I gave her a good deal on some of the smaller pieces because then combined shipping, I did give her a deal on combined shipping, but still there was like $1.50 or $2 left over even from the combined shipping. That was a Ralph Lauren fail. This was great. BB jeans, not all BB jeans. This was highly blinged, new with tags. It went to a girl that when I looked at her, I think I saw her on Facebook too or something. And No, I saw what she was selling. She sold things too, yeah, because I don't stalk people like that. But I saw what she was selling, and a lot of pageant stuff, and she was modeling it, and so and it matched the little profile picture in her store. So I think she does pageants and modeling, so I can understand, or she might be a showgirl, so I can understand why she bought these. So I trusted that they weren't going to come back. Hudson jeans, that's high popular right now. Again, it's only going to be certain styles, okay? Not just any old Hudson jean, just like I said about the Page, not just any old Page jean. But this was a good one, so I got full price for that. Still selling a few vintage Lisa Frank things. The market's gone down a little bit, but hey, this was like tiny. Look, 4x5, and I got $16 for it. It was 99 cents at the thrift store. That was cute. This was a fail. I don't want to talk about it. Q babies, always good. I don't sell a lot of Wrangler. I don't care for them myself, but the Q babies are a good sell. This was a pretty successful Free People, relatively successful. Lululemon, that was a fail, but I don't even know why. I did everything right. I found the name. I did everything right. It still had the size dot. Just not popular. This Tory Burch, these really can resell. This one right here can resell for $60 to $70. I was so upset. I found a hole in it, and I started to just pitch it, but I'm like, you know what? No. Remember what I did with the Lily Pulitzer? So I just repaired it with some black thread, little tiny hole, and I just closed it again. I'm like, this is awesome. You Tory Burch girls, you know how much this is worth. It's just right up here in the shoulder area. If you put something over it, a jacket or something, you can still see the awesome black rhinestone logo, and it's still worthy. And I was right because somebody bought it and loved it. Bin find, not quite a bit off of this. I think I got tired of looking at them. Those weren't a great success. Well, I guess they were a success, right? Because it was from the bins, so, and they were real lightweight. The spikes weren't in them yet, I don't believe. So they weren't very heavy. Super lightweight trackers. Rock 47, there's another in the Wrangler that I will do. Q Babies and the Rock 47s. Kind of like the Miss Me, but not as much money. Although, as we all know, the Miss Me bling from the last, 5 or 6 years, that's falling off too, because we're kind of switching. The fashion forward is switching trends to a little bit less of the rhinestone look and more still embellished, but a little bit more subtle. Oh, this was funny. I just want to talk about this for a minute. I had someone message me and said there were a group of college kids. They're doing a presentation on iconic Americana. And they asked, could we please have this for $20? We have a budget. And so I said, yes, of course. I don't know what they're going to do with it afterwards. It's adorable. Love this. This was a winner. I already talked about it several places. You probably have already heard this. This is great. This went overseas with a forwarding service. Not the global shipping program through eBay, but another forwarding service. So that sold with I think I paid $8.48 for it. I remember we were laughing on the resellers too. I'm like, I paid up for it, $8.48. And we're all laughing because I sold it for $160. But I was a little concerned because it's a medium, see? I mean, if it was women's medium, that's a little bit more workable. Men's medium is, but it went overseas, somewhere to Korea, so not to be presumptuous, but I kind of get it now. Her dresses do well, especially her vintage stuff too. Oh my gosh, that little prairie stuff, that beautiful frilly lacy stuff. Oh my goodness. And so I wasn't surprised that this, that I got a little bit of money for this. Didn't cost very much, a couple dollars. Some more scarves. Not that this is a super high-end brand, Nina Ricci, but it was silk, it was hand-rolled, and the reason that I went for this one and priced it up and waited is because of the theme, black floral. It's striking, right? So I knew someone was going to love that. Oh, that was so cute. I don't understand what went wrong with that one. It wasn't a high-end name, but look how friggin' cute. But it just didn't do as well as I thought. This right here, you can kind of think Eileen Fisher on this. This brand right here. I don't know how to say it. Massimo Dutti. So if you're really wanting to expand your clothing knowledge and don't know this, you can search solds on that. So 38 for that little poncho. Patagonia, I forgot about that. I don't find a lot of it, but yeah, that's good. Somewhere, okay, between price points, just under North Face, I would say, and Lululemon, not that high, but more than Athleta sometimes, if you find the right thing. Love this, talked about this. This was my Paul Cantu channeling, and I bought a bunch of cool stuff. This is one of them. I think I did 56 or 52 on that. Urban Outfitters. Lululemon fail. That was an old school one. Fail. That was from the bins, I believe. So accepting that was fine. This is a Gold Hawk is a somewhat nice label. Maybe it's because it was extra small petite, probably because I should have got a little bit more for that. Anthropology Holding Horses. Holding Horses is one of the labels within Anthro that I'll still do. This would have done better for more money, I'm pretty sure, if the size would have been up there just a little bit more. Because Holding Horses is still retaining its resale value pretty decently within the Anthro line, 66170 RN. St. John. Rock Revival is good. These were just capris, okay? And probably a little early in the season. This was a quarter. I talked about this. I got a sweater for $1 or a quarter. One for 50 cents and one for a quarter. Yes, it's in one of my haul videos from the Salvation Army on their little back rack. And it's all handmade. And I remember I was nervous to show it to you guys. I'm like, okay, I'm going to move this up slowly and show you. And then I'm like, if you guys get this, I'm going to love you for that. And it sold. So knock them off. Best offer. I found 2 of these. This is a thing. This is a line. Very expensive to buy new, but not a big fan base. So it took a little while to sell both of them. There was the other sweater that was either a quarter or 50 cents. So hey, that's fine, right? I just thought this is green and it's all metallic. I'll give it a try. And Fisher, another Ralph Lauren. This was Polo, so a little bit cheaper, right? Nasty Gal, finally sold that. That was so cute. I don't know what took so long. So cute. Again, Nasty Gal is not really great. I don't talk about that one. That did well. It was really soft and pretty. I don't do a lot of Chicos either. It's got to be really nice. This was a pretty set. Cost me a few bucks, $3 or $4 at the Goodwill. Oakley, this is expensive right here. Real goose down. I just couldn't get what I wanted, probably because of extra small. So I went ahead. We're getting late in the season, March the 9th, so I went ahead and took a best offer of a little lower. She got a really good deal. I probably should have just given it to one of my daughters because that's a high-end Oakley goose down vest. Free People, that one was pretty intimately. Free People intimately. That did pretty well though. Eileen Fisher, Pyramid. Won't do that again. I thought, oh look, a vintage Wrangler shortcut vest. No, there's a ton of them for sale. I finally sold this. I was more excited about this than I guess I should have been. This is kind of an interesting label, but I don't know if it was the size or I just didn't hit the right piece. Oh gosh, I can't remember. 40-ish. Still good. I still made plenty of money, right? This is something I found on the floor when I was picking up a hanger that I dropped. Which sometimes I get so aggravated. I'm like, I don't work here. No wonder it takes me so long to source. But a little bit of OCD. When if I drop something, I have to pick it up. If there's a bunch of other things on the floor that other people have dropped, I can't help myself. If I'm standing there, I got to reach down. I won't always actually hang it up if it wasn't my fault, but I'll at least pick it up and throw it on top of the rack. You know, like the glass top on top of the rack. And so I was picking something up and I found this Diane von Furstenberg purse. It's a little mini version of the Stephanie, all leather and silver. It's cute. Retro, Anthropology. Laura Robbins does okay, some better than others. Gosh, Lindy Bop does well in this subculture here. This one just wasn't like real sultry. This one was more conservative, okay? So hence the lower price. Another nice little vintage St. John. This is a great label. Great label. I actually have a leather coat too that I found by them. I haven't made up my mind if I'm going to list or not. This sold pretty fast. I had to change the title on this. Somebody wanted it and they wanted it right away. I had to expedite it. So while we worked out the details on that, I just went in and changed it. So I didn't want to end it because you know that don't get in trouble with eBay and sell outside of eBay. But I didn't want anybody else to get it, so I just kind of did this real quick. I was on a serious time crunch with this person, so I I didn't even bother to change the picture. I just went and did this. It's not like 100 people are going to be interested in that. It was a vintage United Airlines scarf. So that's what happened there. So she bought it for $28 and some quick expedited shipping. Tommy Hilfiger. So I've been learning this a little bit more. I thought this was mostly dead, but from watching the Thrift God, Paul Cantu, I'm learning, okay, wait a minute, I was wrong. But not everything by Tommy Hilfiger. So this one I was a little worried about because there was no spell out, as we say. But I thought, this is a big enough symbol here of related to Tommy Hilfiger that someone who wants to have a little bit in your face, I'm wearing Tommy, but not quite so, it says Tommy Hilfiger, like spelled out real big. And so I said, someone's going to want this, and I was right. And so 28, fair price for them, fair for me. Went pretty quick. I actually like that. Knitted and knotted anthropology. That was a lovely piece. 3 people did pretty well with this one. Didn't cost very much. Not so good with that. St. John. Love, love, love my St. John. Love finding it. Von Dutch. That's a good label for jeans. I don't like to do jeans too much, so it has to be kind of a little bit, it has to be that I know it's going to work. Career dress, coat dress. I like to buy these because these kind of dresses are flattering, but forgiving if you have a little Buddha belly, if you know what I mean. So I think I mentioned before, I've thought about having just a store or a category, nothing but like wrap dresses and things like that. And this is great, from work to cocktails or to dinner. That's a great dress. And Anderson, I don't like to do kids, but I spotted it out of the corner of my eye, so I picked it up. We just talked about these on the Reseller Stew. I think I paid $2.99, $3.99 for these. They went to the same person. I took a little bit less for both of them. They went to the same person. That's still a great flip. There's another good currently now. We have to stay on top of trends. Dear John, and then again, it depends on which cut, which style. I think we're about done. Irene Fisher, this was organic from the organic line. Vineyard Vines, didn't do as well with that as I thought. 3 people. Hey Crew, that was cute. That was cute. Coyote, I don't know what went wrong with that. I think if it would have been a jacket instead of a half zip pullover, it would have done better. I finally gave up on it. Let it go. My favorite Levi's 517 boot cut. I prefer the old school, not the new ones. Soft surroundings. That's something I talked about that I've learned from someone else. So I've been trying it. That went fairly well. LuLaRoe, we all know, is great. Well, it's great to resell, right? Talked about this. Shredley. I learned something new. These are specialty shorts. Mountain bike they do for men and women, different lengths. So it'll be shred and then a little LY, Shredley. If you run across those, you're good to go. I found a bunch of Lululemon. I was just thinking too when I did this the other week that, man, I have not found any Lululemon in a long time. And then bam, I found like 6 or 7 pieces. This was a great sale. I did 60 on this. I long-tailed it. It took about 6 months. But I usually try to pick these up if they're in decent condition. And you just kind of have to wait for the right person, that understands what this is, or has been there, or just understands it, that gets it. Cleared out some 3 people. Anthropology, just was over it. Lululemon, part of that haul where I found 6 or 7 pieces. I found 2 of those. Sparkly Converse, beautiful. 3 people new with tags. I think I paid $4.99. I think I took 28. Well, we're about done. J. Crew made well. We've had this for a long time. The problem was extra small. A lot of people wanted it. They're like, can you measure it again? How much does it stretch? Because it has, kind of a little trendy topic on it there. It is adorable with the beautiful mermaid, and she's getting her ganja on. But it finally did sell. Finally, somebody small enough, or either they're going to repurpose it. All right, that's all, because now we're into April. I will talk about this though. I took 40 for it, and I only paid $2.50. All right, you guys. So these who I'm following, collections I follow, other people I follow. I have some followers. I do some reviews because I love these products, so I do reviews. I try to be supportive of things that I think are worth supporting. Like, I show my support. I show my support to other resellers, to other YouTubers. Okay.